My brain is starting to like shut off. I'm talking so much. Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. Okay, I'm awkward. Hello everybody, it's Melissa and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to sit down and just chat. I wanted to talk. It's been a long time since I've just sat in front of the camera and talked to you guys, giving you a life update, so that's what I'm gonna be doing today. If you want any type of information, helpful workout tips, recipes, you're not gonna get that in today's video, but I'm just gonna be talking for probably a very long time. So if you're gonna get bored, I apologize. You probably just wanna skip this video, but if you wanna stick around and listen to a little bit of a life update, then just keep watching. Okay, so it's March 8th, 2018, and I feel like my life is flashing before my eyes. I'm feeling emotional already, and I don't want to feel emotional when I'm filming this video, but I have just been really stressed out lately, and it has nothing to do with anything specific, but here, we need to back up a little bit. I am a very naturally busy person, and not that I have anything that I'm doing that's super important or that I have like all these super crazy responsibilities, but I just have a really difficult time saying no. And so I tend to, and people who know me will be able to testify to this, but I just like to pile as many things onto my plate as I possibly can until I come to a point like this where I feel very, like at the end, not at the end of my rope, that sounds super dramatic, but sometimes I just get to a point and I'm like, okay, Melissa, you need to calm down, you're doing too much, you're stressed out, you're not sleeping properly, and all these things. And mom, if you're watching this, I'm fine, don't worry. My mom is my biggest advocate for self-care and giving myself time to relax. And anyways, I can feel myself blabbing on already, but it's times like these when I've got a lot going on that I just start to and things just go crazy. I don't sleep very well, I get out of routine, I tend to stress about the smaller details, like like little medial tasks that I have to get done, and then the bigger things kind of go unnoticed, like needing to go to bed before midnight. Anyways, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a life update. I don't think I've ever really taken the time to sit down with you guys and be like, hey, my name's Melissa, and this is what I'm doing in my life, because I feel like I've always had a different reason to come in front of the camera and talk to you guys, whether it's about a recipe or a workout or something I've been loving. I feel like you've been getting little bits and pieces of my life in vlogs and stuff that I've done, but I don't think I've ever really told you who I am, and unless you know me and the things that I do every day, then you probably have no clue what's going on in my life. So I am a university student. I'm in my last year of university. I'm gonna be an elementary school teacher. I transferred universities 2 years into my degree, so this year I'm just like finishing up some random courses before I go into my full-time internship in the fall. So I am in school only 2 days a week. I've got some classes on Mondays and some classes on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm a contract worker for a school just outside of Saskatoon, and I'm working on a project there. I work from home 12 hours a week for a nonprofit organization that I really love, and then I also work part-time at Earl's, the restaurant. So I have a lot of different compartments in my brain, and I've always been that type of person that I always have kind of like a few different things on the go. And for who I am as a person, in my own personality, that's really good for me, because I like being able to switch gears, be doing something different. I like to work from home during the day and then be able to go to Earl's at night and socialize and, you know, get energy from people, because I am an extroverted person. Having all those things going on can get a little bit crazy, and I feel like different seasons in my life, and sometimes are worse than others or better than others, but spring is usually bad because school is wrapping up, work is ramping up, like I'm getting a lot more, there's a lot more stuff going on with work. Yeah, basically at the beginning of 2018, I'm taking a really long time to get around to this, but at the beginning of 2018, I sat down and I thought to myself, I really need to figure some stuff out. I felt very unbalanced. I wasn't giving myself time for working out. I wasn't giving myself time to eat well. I was kind of running myself into the ground, burning the candle at both ends. My mother would say, thank you, Karen, for always being, I need to thank my mom. Mom, if you're watching this, thank you for always keeping me in check, because honestly, when my mom can tell that I'm stressed out and that I'm doing too much, she's like, do some guided breathing, Melissa, calm down, like you need to take time for yourself, make sure you're getting to bed early. So thank you, Mom. you're awesome. Now I'm forgetting what I'm saying. Oh, right. So at the beginning of 2018, I sat down and I really knew that I needed to get some stuff figured out. Just so happened to have a friend, Ali Prochepka, who I'm gonna put all of her information in the description box below because she had so much to do with this in my life, but she does health coaching. She's a registered holistic nutritionist, she's a registered yoga teacher, and she does one-on-one coaching over the phone. Who knew this was a thing? I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. Ali basically just worked with me for 4 weeks. Actually, we ended up working together for about 5 weeks in the end, but just to get the areas of my life organized and kind of like balanced. So each week, Ali talked me through about 4 different things. So the first week was health and fitness. It was mostly focused on like eating and my workouts. I was on the Whole30 when we were working together, so my nutrition was fairly solid, but we did work together on setting some goals when it came to incorporating regular workouts back into my life. Week 2 was reducing stress and anxiety, kind of identifying the things in my life that stress me out and some coping mechanisms on how to deal with that. The third week, we talked about balance and kind of how balanced my weeks were, how like what good things were happening when it came to balance and the things that I kind of needed to work on. And then the fourth week that we worked together, we talked about kind of like the future, like moving forward, what types of things were really helping me in the last 3 weeks, what things that I wanted to keep incorporating into my day or into my daily routines. And the whole month or the whole time that I was working with Ali, we were using an app called Nudge, and it was an app that I got on my phone, and it was a tracking app. So Ali could see the other end of it. She could see everything that I was logging and tracking. We could chat on the app. It was really, really helpful. And basically, we decided upon the things that I wanted to track. So at the beginning, we were tracking a whole bunch of stuff. We were tracking workouts, we were tracking my meals, we were tracking any time that I was taking to journal or do any like guided meditation. We were tracking how food was making me feel, how my energy levels were, how I was sleeping. Like we were tracking everything. And Ali was able to see that on the other end so that when we had our weekly check-ins and our weekly calls, she could see how I was doing. She could bring up some of the stuff. If I made a comment about having, you know, kind of like an upset stomach one day, we could talk about maybe what was caused from that. She could see everything that I was eating, so then she was able to kind of like move through those questions very naturally. And the app was really helpful. Ali worked with me for 5 weeks, and it was honestly so good. Every time that we were on the phone, she was asking me questions, and I was never taking the time by myself to think about the things that she was making me think about. She was asking me questions about my life, and I think it helped that Ali knows me, but she really took the time to like work through things that I would bring up. And you know, if I brought up something that was totally unrelated on the phone call, she was totally willing to like talk through that, and I ended up saying things that I didn't even know were going on in my head. Like she'd be asking me a question about this, and then in the back of my mind, like something would come up, and then I'd start talking about something totally different, and she's like, yeah, that's cool, like acknowledge that, like let's talk about that a little bit more. So I really appreciated the opportunity for me to kind of reflect and be able to, even in those conversations with Ali, I was talking with Ali, she was asking me questions, but I feel like it was just giving myself an opportunity to think about things that I needed to think about. And it gave me an opportunity to just take a really hard look at the things that were going on in my life and be able to identify like, oh, I need more of that, less of that, and the same amount of that. Like I think it was a really awesome reflective process. So we would have our weekly check-in, and then that night or the next day she would send me kind of like a recap email. So in the email she would talk about the things that we talked about on the phone call, kind of what strategies that we were going to implement into my next week so that I could deal with some of the things that we were talking about. And so it was really awesome because it was reinforcing things that were happening on that phone call. So lots of the time, and Ali knows this about me, I would be in the middle of something, I jump on the phone with her, and then I jump off and I'm doing something totally different. So honestly, like my brain was there for the conversation, but after the conversation ended, I was either on my way to school, on my way to work, like on another phone call for my other job. And so it was really good because that email the next day or the email that later that evening gave me the time to go back and be like, right, that's what we were talking about. This is what Ali wants me to do the next week. Like, perfect, this is good. So it was really good because I think Ali and I both share that same busy mentality, and so she was able to understand that. And I think a lot of people on the outside looking in can look at me and be like, well, Melissa, just say no, like do less, like don't sign up for so many things, cut back on work, cut back on this. If you aren't a extrovert or you're not like a busy bee mentality, then that might be hard to understand. But I just feel like I have so many hours in a day, and if I have those hours, I might as well be doing something. And I understand that I need to work on that, and that was something that Ali and I worked through, like giving myself some me time. You know, doing journaling at the beginning and the end of the day, doing some guided meditations, stuff like that, where I'm able to, even though I'm doing so much throughout the day, just giving myself that time at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, ground myself in what's going on, and then face what's ahead. I just need to apologize because my brain is all over the place right now, and I feel like I'm talking about like so many different things, but this is my brain, and now you guys are getting a little piece of it. So Ali was so good about touching base throughout the week. So if she noticed that I wasn't tracking on the Nudge app, she would like send me a message. She'd be like, hey girl, what's up? The one week when we were talking about getting consistent workouts in, she sent me a message and being like, hey, I see you haven't worked out yet today, like what's your plan? Just having someone to keep me accountable was so awesome for that month. It was so good to have someone who would know what my goals were for the week, besides myself, because I think a lot of the time I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to work out 3 times this week, but having someone else who knew that I wanted to work out 3 times this week, and when that wasn't happening, she'd be like, hey girl, like what's going on? Why haven't you worked out yet this week? So that was really good. So throughout the month, I really tried to incorporate meditation into my daily routine. So whether it was first thing in the morning or at the end of the day, I tried to meditate at least once. And if the word meditate really freaks you out, then just think of it as guided breathing or a breathing exercise or just breathing in general, which we all do. So I've never really talked about it before on YouTube, but I'm a Christian, so there's that. And so when it comes to meditation, I find it really comforting and really helpful if I focus on something that is very normal to me, which is prayer. And so I found an app, it's called Abide, and it has a bunch of different topics. I don't know if you can see any of these, but there's a bunch of different topics like anxiety and worry, daily meditations, forgiveness, fear, guidance, love, hope, money, mourning, thankfulness, sleep. So there's a bunch of different options of different guided meditations that you can do. Lots of them are just guided breathing with a space in the middle for some silent prayer or whatever you want to do during that time, whether you just want to focus on your breathing. And they range, there's like short, medium, and long. So some of them were only like 2 minutes, some of them were like 5 or 6 minutes, and there were some more lengthy ones that were like 15 to 20 minutes. So this app really allowed me to, at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, just click on a meditation, listen through it. It was guided. I didn't have to do any extra thinking. I could just listen. I could, you know, just kind of focus on my breathing during that time. And it really helped me because I think sometimes if I set this number in my head of like, oh, I need to meditate for 20 minutes every single day, if I don't have 20 minutes, then I'm like, well, I can't meditate today, so I guess that's over. So this app really helped because I was able to do, like, if I only had 2 minutes, then I could do 2 minutes and I could go to bed and it'd be perfect. So that app was really helpful for me. I'm sure there are a million other apps out there that are meditation apps, but that's just the one that worked for me. What else? Oh yeah, so in the last week that I worked with Ali, we basically just had a conversation about what I wanted to do moving forward. And so in my week 4, so in my week 4 coaching recap, we just talked about long-term sustainability and reintroduction, which is obviously something that I was focusing on because I had just finished a Whole30. And then we kind of wrapped it up. We kind of set some goals for the next little while and things that I wanted to work on, and that was basically it. So I had such an awesome experience working with Ali, and she was really flexible. Like, we would set a time to meet. She understood that my schedule was really busy. One week I was having a terrible week. I was like about to get my period. I was really stressed out, and I had a call scheduled with her, and I just felt very overwhelmed, and I didn't think that I was really ready to talk about myself or talk about what was going on in my head. And so Ali just actually took all the questions that she was gonna ask me on our phone call. She shot them to me in an email, and then the next morning when I was like refreshed, had gotten some sleep, I just typed out all my responses, and then she sent me a recap email and just kind of prompted me with some more questions about that. So she was really flexible and understanding, and she was able to identify in that moment that me being on the phone or me having that one-to-one chat with her was not going to serve me at that time. And so she sent me an email asking all the questions that she would have called because she still wanted to touch base with me and see how my week was going. And again, it just provided a little bit of an outlet for me to be like, hey, I'm dealing with some stuff right now, and you're somebody that I can talk to. And Allie truly was that person throughout that month that I was able to go to when I was stressed out about something. And especially when I finished the Whole30 and I went into my reintroduction, it was really helpful to have someone kind of like on standby who could talk to me when it came to my food freedom stuff. So I don't know if this video made sense. I've been talking for a very, very, very long time. And if you enjoy videos like this where I'm just like bleh and like telling you guys about my life, then that's awesome. And if you don't, then that's totally fine. I've had this YouTube channel now for over a year, and I feel like some of you who have been here from the beginning, like, you know me pretty good. You've seen, if you've watched lots of my videos, then you probably know a lot of the stuff that has been going on in my life. And so I feel like every once in a while it's okay to just like sit down and talk face to face like I would talk if we were friends in real life or friends in person. So anyways, I hope you guys understood this video. I hope that it made sense. Again, I'm gonna leave all of Allie's information in the description box. So if you want to touch base with Allie, do the one-to-one coaching. Honestly, I kind of, at the beginning of it, was like, I don't need a life coach. Like, and not that I didn't approach it that way, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, do I need a life coach? Like, am I at the point where I need a coach to like talk through my life? But it was just a really awesome reflective process, and it was a really good opportunity for me to start the year off right. Like, I was able to start my year 2018 and be able to focus my goals, focus on things that I wanted to pour my time and energy into. And I'm definitely needing to kind of go back to that, go back to the basics. And yeah, just know that I'm fine. I feel like I present way more stressed than I actually am a lot of the time, and when I start to talk about it, then I'm obviously like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, there's so many things going on in my life. But I am fine, and I have a really good support system of friends and family who really cheer me on. And when I'm going through stressful things, they're definitely there right by my side. I've got you guys, which is awesome. I've got my Instagram family, which is awesome. So just know that I really appreciate your support, and if you feel like I'm in like a panic state, I promise I'm not. So anyways, I'm gonna end this video. I've been talking way too long, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm off to work. It's gonna be good. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below with how you manage your stress. If you have any experience with life coaches, or I don't know, just talk to me in the comment section below and I'll talk back. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Subscribe to the channel for future uploads, and I will see you guys in the very near future. Also, there's a notification bell somewhere here. YouTubers talk about this all the time. I don't really focus on it, but if you click the notification bell, it's somewhere here. You can get notified when I upload new videos. And since I don't upload on the exact same day at the exact same time, you should probably click it so then you know when I'm uploading videos, okay? Anyways, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the very near future. Bye.